Alright, so here we go. We're just going to get right into the bag. Haven't done a video in a long time. I'm super rusty, so be nice, YouTube. Thanks. Alright. Already hitting the camera, too. I am rusty. Alright, so this guy right here is my current go-to anything away from the house bag. I kind of refer to it as my handyman bag because that's the most kind of away from house work I'm doing right now, is trying to do some local handyman work. So it's a little bit general purpose, but it's general purpose in the sense of the kind of work that I do. So I'm just going to talk about the tools. And at the end, we'll probably also talk about some other bags that I've used with this set of tools, and why I use this one currently, and also why I hate it. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so to get started, this is probably what I think they consider to be the front of the bag, and this is where I keep most of my hand tools. So starting along the back here, I'm not going to worry too much about showing the layout of this bag. It's not really a bag review video, it's really more about the tools. Any bag would work. This is just the bag that I currently have, but I switch bags all the time because I haven't found what I really consider to be a great bag. I'm thinking Vito Pro Pack probably, but I haven't wanted to spend that much money yet. So anyway, this is going to be mostly about the tools, so I'm not going to worry so much about showing the bag. And also, you can just go to your local Home Depot and they sell these. It's not a particularly special bag, although it is extremely expensive. So let's start with screwdriver stuff. For years, I was all Klein. Honestly, I think you could stay Klein and be just fine. But as you'll find out, the Germans are invading my tool bag. So to start out with, you've got the wares. A lot of this stuff I'm not going to remember the exact brand or line, but what I will do is I'll add notes. So this is kind of the more common wear, whatever they call the common wear screwdrivers. These things are very comfortable, but also the tips, if you do the kind of work I do. So like these wouldn't be great for construction or that kind of stuff. But for what I use it, why is my camera blinking? I need to change I don't know. But anyway, back to it. So I do a lot of handyman stuff. I do a lot of low voltage stuff, a lot of electrical stuff, appliance work, whatever. And these are just absolutely stunners for that. And I originally did not have, or actually had, but I did not keep the square bits. It took time for me to realize kind of the value and use of these. And over time I added them back in. Okay, so as you can see, I've replaced, I used to have a lot of Klein here, you didn't see that before, but I still have some Klein stuff because they have some stuff that is just amazing. This is my most recent acquisition. It's this kind of hook on a handle, and it's just super helpful for getting in and pulling things out. This is the Klein ST6. It's got the old, let's see here, the old yellow labels, which means it's just a little bit older. Oop. Yeah, right there. Getting used to this overhead camera. Hopefully you can see that. I'm too blind to see. Anyway, I know you can see that. So yeah, the old yellow Klein ST6. I found this in like a store where you find old tools. Came with a weird little stubby screwdriver. I believe it was for installing like overhead lights is what they thought, like as a kid or something. I do have, I try not to have a lot of duplicates, but I do have this duplicate. For a long time, I had just the traditional Klein kind of like mini 6-in-1. That was it, the 32581 for like mini work. Let's look at the camera angle here, like mini work. And it's great, but they now have a new version. This has got a bigger handle. So like this it got longer, a little bit thicker, but the bit's the same size, but just a way more comfortable big handle, which I love. And then kind of has what you see with like where the bits are inside here. Look at that. You got your bits right there. I'll kind of show these in comparison. So I've been keeping this one, the smaller one, my older one, just in case this fails me. But it hasn't, and probably soon this will stay at home. This is the Klein 650, which is their scratch awl. This looks pretty new, but I have had this a long time. I don't know. I think maybe 10 years. A scratch awl, or just a real sharp metal point. Actually, not super sharp, it's sharp enough and very strong. Metal point is something that is kind of hard to describe why you need it and where you're going to use it until you get one of these. And then once you get one of these, you use it all the time. So this little hooky guy, when I saw him, I had the same feelings this gave me. I was like, I'm going to use that all the time. All right, so we're going to move past this area for right now, kind of talk about some other stuff. Let's talk about one more handled device. That's going to be this guy right here. This is I have like a big shadow now. That ain't going to work. Hold on, guys. All right, well, I was going to try to do this in one take, and that just ain't working, but we're going to get it done. So, back to this guy. What is he? He's just a scraper. He's Tide brand. I find these at Northern Tool. The reason I'm bringing them up is I freaking love them, even though they're cheap. I love them even if they're expensive. They're just great. They fit the hand. They're comfortable. They're very rigid. Which is what I like a lot. And I keep a plastic blade in here for 2 reasons. One, to tear up the bag. Two, it doesn't tear up surfaces as much. Half the time when I used to be using metal blades, I'm using plastic now. I have metal ones in here in case I need them, but like, that's an awesome tool. This is another one. Plastic blades, man, once you have them, especially on something rigid like this where you can still put a lot of pressure, amazing. Love them. We'll go through this little middle section here and get some of that stuff kind of out of the way. And I think I'm gonna even move this camera. Let's just do it. Oh, did I mess something up? I'm not gonna move this camera, okay. Ways to go swimmingly. All right. Okay. You're kind of in the middle. I have a pair of Nyprex Cobras. This is the 8702-250, whatever size that ends up being. I just picked it based on looking at it and just like the size I wanted to have in here. I started, these larger grip styles are not my favorite. I started with the idea of getting this style for my away from the shop bag. But then over time, I now have the grip style I like in here, so that didn't really go. But that's why I have this style for this one. It is kind of nice on the bigger guy. You can kind of grip on it real hard. And yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with kind of how the Nyprex Cobras work, yeah. Let's see here. Also in the middle, let me get this guy. I like these tools. I don't necessarily like how I have them in here, but this is what I have right now. To open this up, it's got some mini, hit one of my cameras. Okay. So again here, just have some little mini files of different kinds. This is mostly what I need for kind of doing a little homey task. And then these are some little brushes. So it says scratch brush, set of 3, fiber, brass, and steel. That's what they are. They're just little brushes that I use to clean stuff from Hawk. It's like a really cheap company. I paid almost nothing for this. It won't last very long. I'll just get another one. That's kind of what this is. I have those in there because I don't have any other good place for them currently in this bag. Although I just thought of one. So already got to make a change. Oh well. Okay. Now let's go to here. And here. Okay, so first of all, I have one of these little mini hammers. I had a full-size hammer in here or like a kind of a small size but full-size hammer in here for a long time. I just don't use a hammer that often, so this is fine. Oh, yeah. Down in here, because I don't use it very often. It's one of the Nyprex what do you call these things? Just utility keys, basically. Get into different utility stuff. A little brush, just literally for cleaning stuff off. I'll often take like a vacuum with me or something like that, but this is literally like if I'm just working on a little something I just need to clean off a little bit. Boom. And then part of the way that I don't have a million different screwdrivers, wrenches, and all that stuff in here is, you know, by having a very quality multi-use tool. Now, it's not the perfect tool all the time, but because it's high quality multi-use tool, it's like very exceptional to use. That is going to be the Tool Check Plus, the Wear Tool Check Plus. Let me see if I can, how can I show this to the camera? Probably like that, yeah. So the Wear Tool Check Plus, and then I'm not going to get super into this because it's got too many tools to cover everything in full detail, but basically you've got a little bit driver, you've got a little ratchet, you got a little extension, you have all sorts of bits, including your like security bits and stuff. Right here you have kind of your basic smaller side metric, and then I have the standards right there. So like with this, I can just get into a lot of stuff for the grade of things that I'm in. If you're working on cars, this would be great for like dash work, but not for working on a car. But I'm not trying to work on cars with this bag. I just hit my other camera again. Okay, let's get through the rest of this side real quick. Okay, so I got most of the middle stuff out here, the stuff that doesn't fit in a pocket, just kind of fits in the middle. You do have this middle space as you fill out the sides of pockets, and that's how I use it, but it is a little more messy because it's not pockets, and it is harder to get that stuff, but that just kind of is what it is. I have that complaint about a lot of tool bags. So these are my plier things. Starting right here, an actual handled thing. You may know of Mork knife. This is a Mork knife, but it's a chisel format. So like kind of like a woodworking chisel for really rugged handle. So I probably wouldn't use this for woodworking, kind of beat up. But it's just a great all-around utility knife. I can pry with it. I can't remember how cheap these things are, but they are extremely cheap, like throwaway cheap. So, you know, I don't worry about it. But I've had it for like years, and it's still killing it. And it's got a great little, you know, case you can put in your pocket if you want or whatever. I've never sharpened it. It's still so sharp that I just almost cut myself grabbing it then. Okay, some pliers. I use these mostly for low voltage work, specifically when I'm doing category, and they've got the little lines in them. This is great for cutting that. Also, when I'm cutting like multi something cable. I'm tired. I can't think of the word. But anyway, like category. This is kind of designed to separate those things out as you cut through them, just cut them a little more clean. So this is for kind of cutting category and those kind of things. I have another pair of knife picks, Cobras. This is like, I think the second smallest one. This is the 8701-125. And I just have these like for getting into little spaces, but still if I need to just really go on there and ratchet, but it's a small space, I can still get in there, so that's what I have that for. And then I also have this guy from Titan, which is a really cheap brand, but this little guy's pretty well made, and I just don't need an adjustable wrench a whole lot, but I do want to have it, and so I chose this one because it's still kind of beefy and decently made, but just real small. So there you go. Let me get this stuff put back. Coming into this middle pocket on the front, kind of have a lot of my main pliers. So you have some flush cuts. This is from the Micro Fresh Cut from Fastcap brand. I like this one because I have a lot of flush cuts of all different kinds, but I like this one because it's got the spring in it. It's nice and small. I like the grips. It works nice. Then my good old regular Knipex cutters. They make all sorts of kinds of cutters. Every single kind they make is amazing. These are the 7401-200s. These are kind of just fairly basic, but a great all-around cutter to have in a bag like this. And then also the Lyman pliers, the 0201-200. I like these because of the size. They're the kind where up here they don't come all the way together completely flat, which is not my favorite, I think. Yeah, it looks like it didn't come all the way together. Yeah, it did. But anyway, but they're good enough, and I I mean, they're amazing, other than that one thing. But everything else, amazing about them. I love the size of them. I don't have super big hands, and these aren't crazy big. So that's why I like them. Get this stuff put back. Okay, coming to right here. You've got your Knipex needle nose. These are the 2612 200s. Again, when I was thinking about having this style grip, so that's why you have this style grip on these. I love these because of how skinny and long they are, but they're still like super rigid and strong, like everything with Knipex. These are the Klein, I don't know which model, but just, you know, they got a bunch of different strippers. I have a bunch of their different strippers. This is just the one that I have in here. It just seems to kind of cover my needs the most, which is often like home electrical outlets and stuff like that. And then these guys right here, which I have to look up the number and tell you, I've had these for a very long time. And let me see if I can show you in this camera. See how messed up that spring is in there? So awesome. Let's see if I can see on this camera. Oop, I don't know if you can see that or not. But anyway, spring broke on it. It still functions, but it's all messed up. It's been messed up for like 5 years and still works. Probably had this like 15. Anyway, I found a guy on eBay and ordered a replacement spring because I thought you couldn't get these anymore. I couldn't find them anywhere. And he ended up sending me just like a whole nother set. So this was the busted spring, but I have that in here, and I have the new set in my toolbox. Awesome, 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 awesome. Oh, I have these out. I kind of skipped some stuff right here because it's just kind of hard to get to. So now we'll talk about it. Okay, so basically, that's that other backup screwdriver I told you about. Somewhere I just found this little metal hook. I use it for hooking and grabbing things. Same with these kind of universally, whatever, just kind of little plastic, no scratch guys. I have them around. I usually break them, replace them. The back right in this little corner, we have a few interesting things. My actual go-to lineman pliers are these Knipex fully insulated, which are the 986201s, I think. Yeah, 986201. Fully insulated, completely plastic. I love these for most stuff, but they are plastic, so they flex and they don't grip so much. So when I need to grip really hard, I get the metal ones. But these are actually my go-tos. I love them. Instead of having a bunch of insulated screwdrivers, I have this is brand new to me and pretty new to Klein's collection. It's the, I'll have to look up the number, but it's the Insulated Multi 13421. So, you know, but what's great about it is it's changeable. So I got the flat on it right now. Flip it over. That's Phillips. So that's good for my needs. And then this guy I use a lot too. It's called the Volt Claw. I'll do a whole video about this someday. They have different versions too. This is the one I have. Basically, this is just a non-conductive kind of thing. Is it technically non-conductive? Non-conductive, yeah. So anyway, you can push wires with it. You can kind of get a wire in here and use the little yellow part to grab it, like make sure you got it secure and then pull it out of something. You know, just stuff like that. And then I also have this right here. This is from HomeFlex. This is a like natural gas detection. So I've used this the most of my own home because I actually had a gas leak and this is how I detected it and then alerted the fire department and got that taken care of. But I figure it's a good thing to have. While I've not ever needed it, it's kind of one of those things when you need it, you're going to need it. And I might be in a home working on something. I might start smelling gas. I might want to make sure I know what's going on. And that'll hit all the things like propane and that kind of stuff. So got that guy just in case I need it. So let me get the bag flipped around a little bit and then we'll continue the video. All right, I want to talk about this side of the bag real quick because it's kind of an extension of here and it's also a lot of like hand tool stuff. So first of all, this is my introduction into Wera. This is the 818-4-1 maybe, or the 051000. I don't know. It is the one that's their do-it-all screwdriver. Basically, you know, they're the ones I think that kind of invented the bits in the handle idea. So you've got that. Of course, you put them on here. If you need more extension, you can do that. You can take this off and it just becomes an extension. You can use this with the bit check thing that I showed you. You have all sorts of different bits. So this is kind of if I just want to grab a screwdriver throw it in the pocket, and just have a screwdriver. That's the one. This is just an old Stanley cutter that I've had, box cutter I've had for a long time. And I like it because it's bright green. Keep it in here. Flashlight, or flashlightness. I got this pretty recently. This is a Purdy folding, like 7-in-1, you know, just that thing. Its advantage is that it folds over. So, gosh, I'm afraid I was going to cut myself because that's super sharp. Anyway, you know, its advantage is that it folds over, which is great for a bag like this because then it just doesn't tear up the bag. So that's what I got. Right here is kind of some specialty screwdrivers. These are definitely screwdrivers. Anyway, pliers. These are extraction pliers. This one is actually Vampire Tools, or the Vampires, as they call them. This is, you know, it says it's, you know, whatever. It's from overseas. I think it's the same. I think it's actually authentic, but knockoff. I don't know. Anyway, small and large. If you don't know about these, just look them up on YouTube and kind of see what they're about. But they're for about grabbing things and getting them out. And then along the same line, whatever you call these things, you know, for cutting nails. And then I like this one for a couple reasons. You can get the nails cut. You can pull nails out. And then also, like, it's not very big, which makes it hard to use because you don't have a lot of leverage. But I'm just accepting that because I had bigger, longer ones in here and they just took up too much space. And then my kind of main tape measure, which is from FastCap. FastCap makes all sorts of different kinds of tape measures. The reason I have this one, can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? It's because it has a metric on it. I was doing some work and it had metric, it was a metric. And I got sick of converting. So I just got me a good old metric. It's got the Imperial on it too, but so I got that, and I love it. And it's also just unusual. No one else is going to have it. Most people won't be very interested in stealing it either. This side, there's not a whole lot going on. Got some markers, using some pins there, but I lost them. Some tape, some different bits. I tend to like the longer ones. Just got some different bits. These are those stirrups. I'll show you. These are like the Wera Joker wrenches. These are from Power Torque, which is very, very cheap. And I've never actually held a Wera Joker yet, so I assume they are extremely better than this, but because I can't or haven't afforded them yet, and I just have never even seen one in real life, I got these, and I will say that even though these are the cheap versions, they work amazingly. Like, I just don't have to have a lot of wrenches because of these. So I cannot wait to get some Wera Jokers down the road and test them compared to these, because these are like surprisingly good for the brand that they are. Hold on, I need a drink. Well, I've been out of town, so the selection in the garage shop fridge was a little slim, but it'll work. Let's talk about the back side of this bag. Definitely actually meant to be the back side, as it has the padding for your back. It sucks. It's not good for nothing. I used to use the backpack, the Packout backpack. I'll probably talk at the end of this video in detail about it a little bit. But one of the reasons I didn't use this, how uncomfortable it was as a backpack, it just made it really unusable as a backpack. So I decided to go with this. It's more open and just easier to get at the tools. Because that was the other issue with the backpack, was just having a hard time seeing things in there. So, you know, the front side of this is mostly the stuff that's going to live in here, and I'm going to come get it. It's hand tools. And this is a lot of stuff that I might grab and put on my belt, or, you know, it's like kind of, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to grab that. So to start with, I'm all Milwaukee M12. So, Milwaukee M12? What? This is the installation driver. I'm not going to go into a video about it because it's like everything else, take too much time. But I had that guy, and then what I've adapted is they have this guy right here, which it's the compact M12 compact charger and power source. So I like this for a couple of reasons. I can plug into this and I can charge a battery if I need to out in the field. I'm usually not needing more than 2 batteries. I'm usually not needing more than 1 battery, but that allows me to do that. This also allows me to use this as a thing to charge other stuff, so like charge my phone, check its battery, boop, that kind of stuff. But the real reason I got it is I just felt like these batteries just sitting in my bag were gonna break, and then I go to use it and it wouldn't stay in. So I like this as the lightest, kind of smallest way of keeping that battery protected, and it has all the other benefits. And I used to keep a different charger around. Now I just have this for this purpose. I also have this tape measure, this little DeWalt, because I want to. Let's talk about the other thing I have too much of. Well, I have a lot of. Just, we use the top down to point this out. Levels. So I have this little guy from Johnson's. Love him. I have this kind of like medium size Big Brother. Love him. I think this is 12 inch. Yep. He's got, the magnet on one side, the kind of side for a curved, like, a pole or something, all the different whatever. Love that they're orange. Love that they match, so I just know they're mine. And then I also have this one, which as a level isn't so great. But here's what it does. I can get a level, and then it's a laser. So it's got a laser built in. So that's what I use it for. I could probably live without that one, but it's just really convenient. You can see this camera, it lives right there on the other side of the bag. So, if I just want to check a level on something real quick, it's right there. I love it. So I keep both. I have a lot of levels in here. It is what it is. Let's look at other stuff kind of out here. I have my voltage tester right here. This is commercial electric. I try to keep my electrical testing stuff in this bag all commercial electric, so when I see it, I know that it doesn't go to other places, it goes to this bag. So I've got that guy, and then I have 2 of the GFCI testers. Boom and boom. 2 because sometimes I need to. 2 because sometimes I want to make sure one didn't break on me, because sometimes you get results you're not sure you trust. So there you go. Oh yeah. So we're not going to go into a review of this, but the reason that I use this, it's like right now it says a bit driver, but this comes off, and then you have all these other guys. So, in a fairly compact package. Bloop. So I'm not going to talk about this today, like what all it does. We'll do that in another video, but that's why I have that. I do have this. This is from like Harbor Freight. This is an extension, and it is locking because you want your tip to fall off on the end of this thing, whatever it is. And that's the reason I have it. Is like I found a lot of stuff that I just need to. It's like in a little hole and I can't get to it, and this allows me to get to it. And then you totally don't need to have this, but I like to have a pair of long meter nose like this, mostly because I drop things a lot, and then I can use this to help pick them up. Let's see here. Overhead camera again. This is my drill bits. It's just a lot of freaking different drill bits. I'll do a quick video on just that, but it's a little bit of a thing. Okay, I'm going to move this stuff out of the way because now we're getting into some kits a little bit, and I'll need a little bit of space to share them on overhead. Okay, so before we get in these kits real quick, I'm just going to go over the 2 pockets that are here in the back. They suck. You can't fit much of anything in them. They're hard to get to. Like, I like to clip stuff here, and then you can't get to that one. But, this is another Milwaukee thing. They like to put these little, can't put nothing in them, pockets on the outside of the bags. So in here, I have a cheap digital caliper. Not a very good one. What is this? The Pittsburgh 6-inch composite. I just use this for if I'm doing some basic measurements. Mostly like if I'm out in the field and about to go buy a bunch of supplies. I just need to know like some basic stuff. So that's what that's for. I do have a straight edge, just a little one. That's just a thing I like to have. And then I have this guy, the kind of Knipex, see what is the 16, 20, 50 knife. I use it sometimes. I don't love it. It's non-locking. I'm an Eagle Scout. I'm a Boy Scout. We're just all about locking knives. So I don't love this thing. I'm always afraid it's going to cut me, and it's super sharp. But I have it. No time to use it. So put that stuff up. And then in here, I have my Pika pins. I keep them because this one's way more easy to get into than this one. And I just have my Pika pins, which again, this is no. Are these Pika actually? Okay, I call these Pika pins. These are the fast cap, long nose markers. So the markers, whoosh, gosh, now I'm pulling. So you got a regular marker that I pulled the thing off of. Here we go. That's just a regular marker, you know, for doing regular markers. But the reason I have it is like, if you're trying to mark something like down the hole, like down in here, you can't get that in there. So this has this really skinny little tip you can get down in there and mark. So that's what that's for. I've got a black one, a gold one, and a silver one. All right, so let's talk about it. Oh gosh. First of all, my meter. This is like a really cheap one. Well, not a super cheap one, but not a super great one. You know, I have some nice meters, but these are the kind of things that I've already had stolen a few times. So this one does what I need it to do, and if I lost it, I wouldn't cry. So that's why I have this one, and it's a Harbor Freight, I believe, and it's been surprisingly good for what I paid for it. I want to say, I mean, definitely less than 100, but like maybe quite a bit less than 100. It's been great, love it. I don't remember if these leads came with it, but if it did, they're surprisingly high quality for like how cheap it was. Okay, get that right there. Definitely gonna be an overhead camera now. Okay, these right here actually come from the, I think they call it the American Legacy or something like that. It's the new American branded stuff from Klein. I have the tools in a different bag, but it came with the whole kit included 2 bags, and so I use them in here. So the red one right here is kind of like random electrical, kind of. This is a stud finder. This is again Harbor Freight. I don't recommend spending much money on stud finders because I've never found any of them to work all that well. So, you know, this one works well enough, and it was not very expensive. Looks like the batteries are dead. I do have 2 USB chargers and a little Milwaukee guy because I have some USB stuff in here that might need charging, like the battery. I have another little laser guy, a little laser cube guy I can put on a wall and project the laser. You can see that. Yeah, you can see it there for sure. I have some little leads just if I need those. This is a little laser distance meter. See if you can point it at something. So there's a little dot somewhere. You point at it, you go boop, and that's 5 foot 10 inches away. Again, I use this for like estimating if I'm just going out and I need to like figure out how big rooms are and stuff like that to find out how much paint I need or whatever. And then I have the Klein Land Scout Junior 2. I'd like to have a really expensive, fun land meter. I have a nicer one even than this, but I'd like to have, you know, the fancy ones, but they're just so expensive. When I have the original Scout, whatever, and it was great for the price. These are now just getting pretty darn good, but the build quality is a lot better. It's getting so good with the Klein that now it's kind of like maybe with these being so much cheaper, this is just what you should get. So this is just my basic category, you know, land tester. I have, like I said, I have ones in other bags and other places and such, but this is the one I always keep around. Okay, now let's look at the blue one. The blue one could be anything really, but it's basically supplies. So I have like just some different stuff in here. I have this little light from Milwaukee, which I'll do a video about later, but it's basically the only light they make that I think is worth the money. Some blades, both plastic and metal for the scraper. A little pencil headlamp for if I'm just doing a lot of work and I need to be hands-free. And it looks like a little crusty inside. Huh. Anyway, this stuff's awesome right here. This is like one particular brand, but really just any sort of beeswax you can stop creaks and all sorts of stuff with that. Just a backup pair of gloves in case I forget a pair of gloves. I'm in a situation where my hands are going to get torn up. Gonna have that. This guy right here is from, I think, Racketeers. I think I'll look up who it's from, but it's basically just a little holder for zip ties, and you can put big ones in there. Awesome. Some just white labels. I just keep these in here in case I end up needing to label stuff like cables. I usually keep some cable labels in here too, but I just don't have those right now. And then lastly, just these guys, the pre-cut little Velcro guys, ties. I do a lot of low voltage, and you just gotta clean stuff up, and that's why I got that. There we go. Okay. I have this guy, which I got, I don't know where, but I got somewhere. Just a little pop-up trash bin so that I can collect my trash when I'm at somebody's place, and just makes it easier to clean up as you go. It's nice, it's kind of rigid. Okay. I do keep a T in here, and I've kept different, square. And I've kept different ones. I ultimately went with this one. It's kind of heavy. And there's other ones I've loved for other reasons. But this one ultimately because once you flip it out, you have that nice flat edge. And that was something that was a tool that I needed to have in this bag. So I was keeping a flat edge, but it just would fall out and blah, blah. So I decided to go with this. Okay, and then the final thing back here, this long skinny red Milwaukee bag, which I think we're gonna be all overhead cam. This is my demo bag, basically. And by demo, I mean Demolition, which is gonna be very minor. It's not gonna be like actual Demolition, it's gonna be like take out a shelf so I can put one up. I had to get some more juice in the system. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Start with my least favorite tool. I've yet to find a version of this that I really like. Slow saw blade holder and some different kind of blades. It does the job. I like this one better than other ones I've had, but don't love it. I have two different kind of crowbars because this is one of those things where I don't know how you have one, because this is for getting in between things, whereas this would tear up a lot of stuff, being so thick. This I can get under stuff and kind of get like, plyboard or whatever. But then if I'm actually trying to rip something out, this will bend. It's not that great. So this is the rigidity to get something, that like I don't care about if it breaks, but I need it out, like a floorboard that's not coming back. So I have to have both. So I do. This is the best drywall saw ever made. There's a couple people that are starting to make very similar versions. I still think this one's better. And also this is like, they've had these for a very long time. In fact, I don't even know if they still make them, but they are amazing. So what originally made them amazing is that the jab saw part was folding so that it wouldn't tear up a bag like this, because these things are just crazy sharp. But then it also would come with a rasp, which you could use to, kind of clean up your work. And I love this thing. Oh. So memory card full on the overhead camera. So that's fine. We're actually on the last tool of the whole bag, which I think is going to end filming for tonight, or at least for this moment, and we'll do the rest somewhere else. But final tool, which I just recently added. Boom. There's metal cutters, and they're from, I can't remember who makes them, but they're just really small. And I just find in a bag like this, these get used and abused. So I've already used them a couple times on stuff they probably should have been used on, but they're a great tool, and they don't take up a lot of space because they're kind of miniature. So I keep them in here, and they've already helped me on a couple things. So I will continue to keep these in the bag. So with that is all the tools in the bag. So we're going to cut off filming for now, and we'll put all the stuff back away, and then I'll be back with you. Okay, I need to show you one more thing about the bag. When you see my whole system, you'll come to understand kind of why I've gone with this bag for now. And I think I've decided just to save the backpack and what I think about that for a whole nother different video, but you can actually see it right there. And then also one of my favorite Packout boxes. And then down there is the M12 vacuum, which is just one of the best tools ever. Anyway, so you can see from the product brochures that right here is where a level is supposed to go. And you know, basically the two common level sizes you see all over the place are basically 12 and 24. 12 fits right here, and it won't, it'll just fall. So that's no good. Or something like that. It doesn't, it's not, not wide enough. 24 totally fit, but it's so wide that now like the bag might as well be wider because it's going to hit all this stuff. So basically 18 inches is what they made this bag for. Well, made that shape and space and advertisement for. And they do have an 18-inch level. It is, I've never found it anywhere other than online. It's very expensive. So I finally found an Empire 18-inch level, which there was another company online that I found at Home Depot that had kind of like a shock absorby one that I liked. But anyway, I found this locally. I really like Empire stuff. I always have. It doesn't have everything that I like, but you know, again, it's now my 4th level, so I was like cool with that. And this is the kind of stuff that Milwaukee does. They're so close sometimes. So I'm doing this, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Then I go do this. Do you see what's happening? Probably not from this angle. Let me swing the bag around. Now do you see it? Hold on. I'm gonna just point this out because do you see? These don't go flat. And you can't do it like that either. They didn't think the buckle through. They needed to leave some fabric so that this could be flat here. And I think because I believe theirs are extra fat and they probably fit. But this is a very common thickness for these things. And it just, I don't know. Sometimes you try and be back out with certain things. At the price that you come with, or come at, everything needs to be perfect. Hey guys, what's up? So I was gonna do an intro tomorrow morning during the daylight time, but I decided just to get it done tonight. So part of the reason this video is different and that I wasn't in most of it is I wasn't even gonna do a video tonight, but then I just got bored and decided to do one. So, you know, like a lot of people, I got busy. So it's been about a year, I think, since I've been on YouTube. And I've also decided to completely rebrand the channel. And that's part of what's been slowing me down. So for months, I've been thinking about doing that. I haven't done it yet, so I haven't done a video. Now I was like, I'm just going to do not, you know, a super fancy video or not a video at the level like I used to. Just do something simple. That's what tonight is. I think I'm going to do a few of those, just dip my toe back in the water. And then, you know, get back to what I was doing. Plus, you know, really try to bring some higher quality stuff to it. So that's it. Just telling you, Mike Jones here. I don't know what the channel will be called in the future or whatever, but basically it's my review of not the Milwaukee Packout. I think it's called the 18-inch Tote, maybe, something like that, whatever the bigger one is. But really just a loadout for handymen or the kind of work I was talking about. This would be great for low voltage. This would be pretty great for just homeowner if this is all you had. And this is just one part of an ecosystem. So I think what I'm going to do is do a series of videos on my Packout ecosystem, because that's really what this started. And there's back there, there's a lot more Packout. Like not as much as some people have, but a lot of money has been spent. So probably forgotten a lot of things. First time doing a video in a year. I'll try to add a lot of comments in the video and let you guys know details on stuff. So please comment, please engage. I'm ready to get back going. And I mean, just like tell me what you want to know. What like videos I could do outside of this Packout series. But I think probably this weekend, I'm gonna do a few videos. We'll just get through my Packout system. So that's part one. See you guys later.